What's going on, guys? Jedi270 here from Airsoft RX. This is a video response to a video that I watched earlier about JohnJayRambo1's video, his rate of fire on his GBB, and Delta 1, and him talking about how things are impossible, and back and forth they were talking about how things are impossible. First of all, I commented on this channel on Rambo's video a while back stating that he was a good guy, and I still believe that. He's a great guy. And you know, I read all the comments today, and some of them just made me laugh. And after I watched Delta 1's video, and I gotta say, like he says, I'm not hating on him either. I like watching his unboxing videos. Some of them are pretty comical, and some of the stuff that he does, and I have nothing against him at all. But when he made the comment that change in the change mod in the buffer tube of the gas blowback is going to damage the bolt, when I can say 100% that it is absolutely impossible for that to happen. One, mainly you're using quarters in the buffer tube. It's not going to get past the buffer spring because it's always under some form of tension. Two, the buffer itself takes up more than 75% of the buffer tube, with the exception of the little notches on the sides, and there's 3 of them. That's not going to happen. It's not going to come into contact with the bolt in any shape, form, or fashion. Another thing that he mentions is that an AEG is more reliable than a gas blowback, and that an AEG is simple. This simply is not true. An AEG, when you get the rate of fire that you're getting, some of them will come out of the box that way. That's the gearbox. That's the setup from the factory. But when you start running LiPo batteries in a gun, I don't care what you put in it, if you don't shim it right, if you don't watch what you're doing, you're going to strip those gears out. Then he says that his gears will last longer than any O-rings or seals in a gas blowback. This simply isn't true either, because AEGs have seals and O-rings in them as well. And it really makes any difference. I would rather replace a 2-cent part than replace a $36 gear set, an $80 gear set, or what have you. And then by the time you turn around and you buy this high-dollar battery, and you have to have like 2 or 3 batteries at a game to make sure one of them is going to work right. You have to have smart chargers. You have to be plugged up. I can go get a 2-pack of propane at Walmart. That's 2 packs for $5 versus green gas running $15 to $16 a can for green gas to get away from the propane smell, which really doesn't bother me, and it doesn't bother any other airsofter out there that uses a gas blowback. He says that an AEG is simpler. This simply is not true. If you run a GMP WOC in an Akatsu, a KJW, a WE, or for that matter even a well, once you turn around and replace all the internals to CNC steel, that's it. The worst thing that's going to break inside a gas gun is going to be your springs, because that's the weakest part of the internals. To be honest with you, if you've got a crappy body, a crappy receiver on a gas blowback M4 or on an AK version gas blowback, your body's going to break before the internals do. There's entirely so much going on in an AEG that it's apples and oranges. You know, there's Chevy guys, there's Ford guys, there's Remington guys, there's Winchester guys, Colt, Sig Sauer. No matter, there's always going to be some conflict over which is better. A lot of people will say that gas blowbacks, you got to pay $50 for a magazine. Big deal, because I myself as a retailer, Delta 1, you're a retailer, you know, people are going to pay what they're going to pay for items, and they'll have them. As long as you maintain your magazines, you're fine. I would rather have the realistic part of the 30 rounds versus like some kid on the field with a 400 round magazine putting the flash hider around the corner and just dumping rounds like crazy. It's a better gameplay, and until you play with a gas blowback, you know, I have no problems with AEGs. You know, there's AEGs in the house, but I prefer gas. Making fun of the way somebody talks or their accent is just a little childish. And I left a comment on here on this video earlier tonight, and the comment basically, if you don't read it, I'll just tell it to you, is Satan must be shivering today because hell froze over, because I'm going to say something that I thought I never would. Crazy and C-Man is 110% correct. You know, I've got a lot of respect for the guy, for the fact that he's a single father and he's doing what he has to do to make ends meet, to to raise his child, and hats off to him on that one. But getting mad at him for saying God's douche softers, if you don't understand Crazy NC Man, that's his style, that's what he does. I've seen him and heard him say a hell of a lot worse. So, there's no love lost between Crazy NC Man and Delta One and Jarek. That's always going to be that way. Nothing's ever going to change it. So if you're a fan of Delta One, there's no sense in coming over onto John's channel and giving him crap. He, to look at him, you'd think, I'd hate to meet the guy in the back alley at 12 o'clock at night. I mean, because he looks like somebody that would just smash your head in. But he has a very godlike manner about him, and he's a very godly man, and he believes in his faith. And to be honest with you, he's a really cool guy. And, I say this because of my experiences with him and my conversations with him. He's not the type to say he's one way and then flip the coin and be another way the next day. He's consistent 100% all the time. He's a great guy. He's just trying to help out in the sport. So I really think guys should really just get off his case about it. He may have said something in his video, but if you watch the second one, he goes back and admits where he's wrong. So if you guys can, just get beyond this fanboyism idea of the way things go, then you'll be all right. I mean, but Crazy NC Man, and this one's 100% correct. Gas blowbacks are a lot easier to maintain. Yeah, you have to maintain them more than an AEG. There's very few parts compared between a gas blowback and an AEG. And a gas blowback is not expensive to operate. And I don't care what anybody says. I run with them exclusively. They're very easy to maintain. They're high, they're high dollar for a reason. And AEGs, if you keep pushing that many rounds per second out of that gun with these super torqued up batteries, you're going to rip your gear set out. I guarantee you that an AEG with a LiPo battery running that fast next to my GMP WOC, I guarantee you the AEG is going to pop a gear before mine stops. And that's just a given. So get off everybody's case, man. Just enjoy the videos and be thankful that people are taking their time to make them. This is the Jedi 270 from Airsoft RX. Thanks for watching.